dysfunctional vet. These two wires right here, here and here, are the low water sensors. This one is positive, this one is negative, and these run down to the low water inside the well to tell the pump to turn off. Yesterday in testing, it appears that for some reason my low water sensor isn't working. And I'm trying to figure out what the problem is. Now when I put the pump and the sensor onto the line that goes down for pumping the water up, and it is a 5/8 inch line, I ended up becoming sick for almost 8 weeks. That was earlier this year. Sometime in February I started getting sick, and by March I was completely down for 8 weeks. And by down I mean literally I was down. And I'm thinking that some kind of dirt or foreign object may be in the sensor down hole. So I'm getting ready to pull the pump. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this thing on, and I'm going to troubleshoot the power from here all the way to the end where the sensor is at. And if everything is working correctly, then I'll know what is going on down hole as far as the sensor is concerned. The symptoms that I had was that the water level, or the water coming out of the pump, appeared to be drawing air, but the well, oops, not in view here, and the sun angle is bad. This low water didn't come on, and so I'm thinking there's a problem with the conductivity. The way this thing works, when the water is touching the sensor, it changes the resistance of this 1.7, 1.8 volts that I was getting. Now this was early before there was any sunlight on the screen. And as I mentioned before, a solar panel is a low voltage generator and it cannot be turned off. It's going to produce electricity. So all I need is current flowing, and I can troubleshoot this, and I'm going to show you that process now. Alright, here's my well. Down inside here, I've got the line for this is a waterproof line, and this is for the pump. And I have this waterproof connection here, which is for the downhole sensor. First thing we want to do is pull it apart and do a visual inspection. It shows to be dry. Now I cannot stick anything in there and test the power because I don't have anything that small. So I'm going to have to go get 2 of the needle fittings to put in here to check and see what's happening. Now this line right here, trying to keep it out of the dirt, this line right here I can actually test to see which one has power on it and which one doesn't. So I'm going to partially shield the panels to keep the pump from being able to come on due to low power, and I'm going to start troubleshooting this thing all the way down. So let me cover the panel, and then we'll come back and we'll start actually troubleshooting it. I just turned on the controls for the well, and it is telling me that it has low water. So now we're going to check, and we're going to see if the power is getting to this. We actually know it does because we're getting an alarm. This is going to be a pain. Okay, I'm getting 12 volts off of this. Yeah, 13 volts. So the one panel that I have covered tells me that everything's good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hook this back together, and we're going to take a look at the panel and see what's happening. Alright, this is back together. Actually, I've got to take this apart and get the pins and see what I have as far as well, I know that I've got good flow of electricity down there. The next thing I need to do is I need to pull the pump. And if you did not see my video on how this thing is put together, I've got a bar right here which is holding the pump. I've got two ropes, a black rope and a white rope. The white rope is rated at 330 pounds. I stand corrected. It's rated at 90 pounds. This black rope, which is Dacron, is rated at 800 pounds. And then of course I got these cables. I'm going to disconnect these for pulling the pump up. I'm going to lay it out, and then we'll troubleshoot the rest of the way down and see if we can find a problem with the sensor as to what's going on. I pulled the well, or pulled the pump, and I dropped this into the water to see if if it would show that I had water. It does. Now the question is, I don't know if you can see that down in there, but I've got a spider or somebody who built a nest in there. And that is the problem with my sensor not working. I'm going to try to get this out. But that's why it's not working. It's because you have two tubes here. Metal tube here, 12 volts or whatever the voltage actually is. And then you have a rod inside here. And it measures the potential between these. And as water gets in there, it reduces the resistance. And then it starts working again. But anyway, that spider web or whatever is inside of here is preventing this from detecting that there's no water in the well, and that's why the pump won't shut off. As soon as I get this cleaned up, I've got to wash up the well because I'm in dirt, as you can see, and I'm going to put it all back together, put it all back down in there, and turn it back on, and we'll see how it works. As you can see, I have a low water light that's flashing, and it's telling me that everything is working properly now. The pump ran for 43 seconds before that kicked in, so I know everything is good down hole, having